Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Cancer reading. The full moon in Cancer is the day after Christmas. I have laid out the axis of the horoscope wheel. I have laid out a combination of the African Tarot and the Tarot of the Divine. I'll clarify with the Good Tarot, and I will integrate a few different oracle decks along the way in the reading. So thank you for being here. I appreciate your time and all the support that you give me so that I may do what I'm doing for you right now. So let's look at your overall energy, Aries, for this full moon in Cancer. The Four of Coins, the Four of Pentacles. This is about something that you have achieved in terms of your stability and security. You have accomplished a foundation. You've accomplished a way in which you can feel solid in your ongoing investment in yourself and your material comfort. This can even be the platform for wealth or prosperity that you want to build. But it indicates that you have already achieved a level of safety, of protection, of stability that is supporting you in your efforts to have a comfortable home, to have a safe home, to be able to provide for yourself and your loved ones those things that you need. In the 10th house, the house of your social identity, we have the Five of Cups. And because the full moon is really illuminating your 4th house, the house of your home, the opposite placement for this Five of Cups, this is indicating to me that you are feeling a lot of emotions about your experiences, relationships, regrets, sadness, a lot of heaviness around remorse or the way things have turned out in your significant relationships. This can be family relationships. It can be a pattern of relationships that you have established as a result of those relationships in your family of origin. And there is a sense of loss, an overwhelming sense of loss, despite what you have learned from those relationships, despite what you have surrendered and allowed yourself to recognize your responsibility in these perhaps broken relationships, disappointments, failures. In this regard, this can also be about professional or achievements or efforts you've made in your community, in your external world that have, by your estimation, failed, felt as though they didn't move up to the mark. And in experiencing that, allowing yourself to experience those emotions, which is very consistent with the energy of this full moon, you are in many ways additionally grateful as you turn your attention away from this kind of drain of emotions, this release. You are turned to the sense of balance within your own life, within your own self, this evening out, this way of deeply connecting to those things that are not reflective of these disappointments, but instead establish a higher vibration of meeting your potential, recognizing that you have a potential beyond these failures or disappointments. In the first house, the Two of Cups, and this is beautiful following the Five of Cups precisely because it highlights the Two of Cups that you are being guided to put your focus on. This is an acknowledgement that you know what it is that remains, and that is really the space that you are turning your attention and your intention toward And that is this deeper connection to your potential, something that may have been lost in this sense of struggling within a pattern of relationships, a pattern of behaviors that did not acknowledge who you were, or in some way you felt an unequal sense of responsibility or obligation to relationships outside of yourself. And now you are refocused on this connection, this deeper connection with your potential. This is beautiful, and it reflects in all of your relationships, the relationships you're choosing, the relationships that you are focusing on, that you're making room for as you're clearing away this old pattern that you recognize as self-defeating or disempowering. In your fourth house, the Queen of Cups. This is you showing up for yourself as a healer, as a caretaker, as someone with ultimate compassion and forgiveness for yourself, recognizing that this pattern of perhaps failures, disappointment, or caretaking of others in a situation that was not balanced is something that you are learning to forgive yourself for. You're accepting the lessons that you've learned. You're understanding that perhaps these disappointments, failures, that this pattern taught you something that was essential to your ability now to turn your attention towards your potential for yourself, the balancing up of your energies, the taking full responsibility for moving towards those things that feel good to you, that support you, identifying those elements in your life that are supportive of you as you are, unconditionally. And that allows you to then heal from this pattern, forgive yourself for this pattern, and to focus on the way in which a deeper connection with yourself feels good, is supportive, how you can provide yourself with the support that you require. And in the seventh house, the house of significant relationships, we have the Emperor. And this is precisely that energy of taking full ownership of your life, taking full ownership of your relationships, your part in relationships, your responses to others, understanding that this is within your control. The behaviors of others are not, and that you are in a place of understanding that you can control your own experience. You can create your own reality when you structure your thoughts, your intentions in a way that visualizes what you're deserving of and what you are willing to do on behalf of others on your own terms. This is beautiful because the Emperor is not simply involved in taking control of things for the sake of having control and power. It's on behalf of a community based on experience that you've gained in being responsible for others in a way that didn't benefit you. Now understanding that there's a way that you've learned to define your reality, envision your reality in a way that does work for you so that you can work for others. I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards before I clarify and ask that if this reading is resonating for you so far, Aries, to please like this video. Share this with someone who may enjoy it, may find it useful, and to leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And from Starry Beginnings, I pulled the Feel and Release. Release all you've accumulated on this journey. And this feels like a real reinforcement of the idea that you are allowing yourself to experience the sadness, the remorse, even a sense of regret, disappointment. that you have experienced in order to let it go, in order to surrender it and release it. And I'm pulling from the Flora and Fauna of Africa, and I pulled the bush elephant. And the flower associated with the bush elephant is the evening primrose. And the key words are sweet memories. You are in control. Trust and rely on your strengths. Let your wisdom and intuition guide you. I just love how these are reinforcing the energy so far. So now I'm going to pull Two of Cups in the first house clarified with the Ten of Earths, Ten of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man in the third house. So the Ten of Earth in the second house is really emphasizing that you are building the reality that you want, the abundance you want. You are working towards a sense of legacy, and this reinforces the idea that as the Emperor, as someone who is taking ownership over one's own experience, that you understand that you have already benefited from the efforts others have made on your behalf. And you're in a place now of understanding how you can continue to generate that abundance on behalf of others. So this works very beautiful. This sense of legacy is reinforcing this idea of working on behalf of others, taking control of your response to others, and taking control of your intentions, creating your intentions in a way that builds the reality that you want. There's also allowing you, the Hangman is supporting you to pause, to retreat, to take time, to step back, and to work on your attitude, expand the way that you're seeing things, reframe things that have been disappointing. This is something you're actively doing, reframing this sense of failure in a way that is empowering you to recognize that the opportunities in those so-called failures, as well as the opportunities and challenges that you are currently facing. The Queen of Cups in the fourth house is clarified by the King of Air in the fifth house and the Queen of Fire in the sixth house. You are able to bring a lot of discernment, logic, and actually inspiration, a desire for victory, a knowledge that you are able to accomplish what it is you set your mind to accomplish. Not only are you clear about how your thoughts structure the reality that you want, but you're also allowing yourself to be impassioned, to fill your relationships with others now that you are so inspired, now that you are working on this deeper connection with yourself, to bring this passion, this confidence into your working relationships. This also has to do with the routines and habits that you establish for yourself moving forward. You are a person that is motivated by your passion, your talents, your skills. These are the things that you are being called on to release, to express, to navigate and negotiate with others. So there is a lot of a sense of empowerment that is really driving this deeper sense of connection with who you are, this deeper confidence in your self-knowledge, knowing what your skills are, knowing what you do well, having been a provider to others in some capacity for much of your experience. Perhaps this is much of your working experience, even relationship experience. The Emperor in the seventh house is clarified by the Strength card in the eighth house and the got a peek there. The 9 of air in the 9th house. So air, of course, is the element of the swords. Just for clarity, the language of different decks. This is a newer deck that I'm using. You have persevered. You continue to understand that the experiences of disappointment that you have had in the past, and this feels very much around your relationships, perhaps within specifically your family of origin, have in shaping those, in changing those, in reframing those, you are dispelling the beliefs that led to your sense of obligation to relationships that were not reciprocal. And you're understanding that you are strong. You perhaps in many ways are stronger than those around you. You were given the mantle of responsibility for a reason. And this can be a very difficult or painful lesson to accept, that the additional work that was required of you, perhaps within your childhood experience or as a part of that, is because you had the fortitude. You were able to selflessly support others in a way that was necessary for the well-being of the whole, the well-being of the family, and that had inadvertently a lot of perhaps damaging impact on your sense of self-esteem or your sense of worthiness in some cases, not for all of you. But this is saying that you have understood now that your real sense of empowerment, your real ability to perceive the benefits that you received in your upbringing, in your childhood, perhaps in your formative years, were really about building up this sense of I want to say destiny, but the sense of mission that you understand because you are capable of working on behalf of a larger community, working beyond yourself. This is something that's built into you as a result of your experience in your youth through your family. So this is part of this really being able to consciously tap into the inspiration and the victory, the strength that you gained as a result of facing what many would view as extraordinary adversity or extraordinary obligation to others, that has ended up making you a kind of uber citizen of the world. In the 5 of Cups in the 10th house is clarified by the Fool card in the 11th house, and the 7 of Water, 7 of Cups in the 12th house. This is part of empowering you onto a larger and adventure, really. A fresh start in your relationship with your larger soul tribe, community, humanitarian vision, organizational work that you're doing on behalf of the betterment of the world, whatever place that fits for you. You have a broader and newer understanding of your ability to impact the world, to impact changes in the world you'd like to see. There are a lot of things as a result of this growing, evolving understanding, and I can't overlook the self-compassion that is really fueling the sense of confidence that you have gifts, many gifts on purpose, and their purpose is absolutely at the service of a better world. As a result of that, there are many people that would like to include you, invite you, make offers to you, have you be a part of something that they would like to themselves benefit from. And I'm not saying that this is all about other people's selfishness. You just have talents and skills that are attracting others who have missions, organizations, purposes of their own that would benefit from your engagement. This is in some ways a bit overwhelming, all the variety of ways that you could utilize your talents and skills. There are many causes out there that would welcome your input, and this is in many ways helping you to connect more deeply with a variety, a greater, more diverse world, feeling that you are a part of something larger than your individual experience that you can contribute to. But it's also a bit overwhelming, and in part why this hanged man energy is so important for you now, as how you're receiving information, you're taking in perhaps offers, new information, you're doing research, and you really are allowing yourself to sit on it, to think about it, to not respond immediately. With the Emperor here, you know what your limits are. You know the way that you want to channel, or you intend to have an impact in what specific areas are most meaningful for you, where you could have the most meaningful impact. So this is quite a reading. This is really flavoring the entire winter moss holidays, the Yuletide, the winter solstice, if you will. I'm going to finish off this reading, Aries, with a Language of Flowers card. And I pulled the Sweet Alyssum. And the key word is clarity. Bright paths of understanding will open. I thank you so much for this reading, Aries. Until next time, Namaste.